start right now the international international lecture series, study base of academic and best practice, with the terms challenges of effective business communication for millennials. This is the 250 episode today. It's very interesting too. Which there is the must be to unmute first. Kang Indar, tolong ini ada yang lupa mute. Okay. This is with the Mr. Hamzah Muhammad Mardi Putra. SKM ini kalau Puan lihat Sarjana Kesehatan Masyarakat, right? Kemudian kalau tak salah saya Magister Management and Doctor Business Administration with the Ferita Bangsa University Bekasi West Java. And then the second speaker, Ms. Shazwa Nabila Muhammad Ridwan, Master and Educational English, lecturers Business English in UniKL MyTech Malaysia. Pak Hamzah atau Bro Hamzah, karena ini lebih muda daripada saya. Ini Shazwa ini baru saja dari Jakarta bulan lepas. Saya bersamanya dan timnya kami ada buat meeting di Kedutaan Malaysia Jakarta. Untuk Pak Hamzah ketahui bahwa Universiti Kuala Lumpur itu mempunyai 140 program studi lebih kurangnya. Jadi sangat banyak. Kampusnya ada 12 di seluruh negeri, 13 dengan kampus pusat di Kuala Lumpur. Jadi kalau Pak Hamzah nak collaboration, nanti kita aturkan selepas yang satu ini. Jadi pada petang ini kita akan memulai event ini. We will start with the 5 itinerary sahaja. This is not conference, therefore you must be to enjoy and relax je. Not strict protocol, right? Okay, the first welcoming from me as a chairman ASEAN Lecturer Community. And the second, there is the short video from ASEAN Lecturer Community officials. Indra Gumilang, Assistant Professor, as the host, will be to share around 3 minutes. And third, we come to share a lecture. If we look your name, Hamzah Muhammad Mardi and Shazwa Nabila Muhammad Ridwan, this is alphabet from H, right? After that, S. Because academic look the alphabet. Hamzah, H, early, I mean, awal lagi, then Shazwa by S. Jadi Pak Hamzah kena sharing
maybe
awal.
boleh start dulu.
Yeah, because the name.
Because of alphabetical order.
Okay, after all the after the speaker sharing, there is the song by video for refreshing first. This is the different of the conference or another event, because Indra Gumilang many song by video relation of time. Therefore, we will to look after Mr. Hamzah sharing. There is the song by video first before Cik Shazwa sharing the second the last speaker. The fourth, we come to go question answer. Therefore, the participant, you can to use chat box for you share question, or you can to share direct to my email address, because my email address right now in chat box available, right? And the last, the fifth closing remark. Only that the itinerary simple, and the important is relax and enjoy. Okay. Once more, thank you very much for the all speaker and all the participants from Jakarta, from Bekasi City, from East Java to Indonesia, and from Malaysia. Usually there is from Sultan Thai, and then from Singapore, because this event published in the website of ASEAN Leisure Community, and Indah Gumilang is usually share the more of network. Ladies and gentlemen, let we start this event with the prayer first. Berdoa dipersilakan. Bismillah. Ya, Cik Ketua, ada nama Prof. Azanam dan lain-lain dekat situ. Okey, Cik Hamzah. Encik, sekarang saya panggil Encik sajalah. Encik Hamzah Muhammad Mardi, DBA, time is you now. You can to use English, Indonesia or Malay language. You nak campur pun boleh juga. Okay, please. Around 30 to 35 minutes available for you, please. Okay. Ini relax ya, boleh minum kopi juga boleh lah, tak apa-apa. Okay, silakan.
Okay, I will start, Mr. Reza.
Yeah, you can to use the screen if you want to share your PowerPoint. You are the co-host right now.
Okay, I will share.
Okay, very clear with the yellow background.
Okay.
Macamnya Pak Hamzah macam Golkar nih, backgroundnya
Oh,
kuning.
iya. Ya, padahal
Okay,
bukan termasuk politik, bukan.
No problem, Pak, karena tolak angin kuning juga, Pak. No problem, Pak.
Oh iya, siap, ya. Oke, biar kelihatan cerah ya, walaupun ini cuaca. Oke, saya mulai. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ya, sore ya, di Indonesia sekarang 2:30, mungkin di Malaysia ini mungkin waktunya berbeda ya, 3:30.
Setengah empat.
Mungkin saya sedikit sharing aja ya terkait komunikasi bisnis ya, terutama untuk milenial. Ini materi dari saya, mungkin nanti saya share juga ke Pak Reza. Ya, ini penduduk di dunia ya, terutama kalau di Asia ya, di negara-negara berkembang itu didominasi oleh generasi milenial atau yang usia mungkin kelahiran di atas 80, 90-an ya, itu lagi mendominasi. Nah, ini sebelum saya masuk ke materi ya, sebelum masuk ke komunikasi bisnis ya, sebelum masuk ke komunikasi bisnis, saya akan menjelaskan sedikit terkait generasi. Ini ada beberapa jenis golongan generasi, baik itu ya ada yang generasi terkenalnya baby boomer ya, baby boomer ataupun yang kelahiran setelah Perang Dunia Kedua selesai. Yaitu setelah Perang Dunia selesai, banyak bayi-bayi itu kan lahir ya, jadi istilahnya disebut baby boomer. Nah, ini karakternya ya, ini menurut dari ya teorinya itu kan jiwanya petualang ya, jiwa petualang ya, ini optimistik ya, ini seperti Pak Reza ya, Pak Reza ini petualang, optimistik, orientasinya itu ya kerja ataupun yang ini intinya kan sangat-sangat semangat kerja, ataupun bisa dibilang ya mungkin di sini bukan anti pemerintah, tapi waktu itu kan kesannya pemerintah itu kan ingin ya setelah perang damai ya, pemerintah ini ingin kekuasaannya itu kan kuat. Nah, sehingga para masyarakat ini ya ini ingin juga berusaha optimistik kan, berjiwa optimistik. Kemudian berikutnya ya ini setelah tahun 65 ya, 65 sampai 76 itu setelah generasi baby boomer namanya generasi X ya. Istilahnya ini lebih individualis ya, atau lebih luas. Dan mungkin ini kan kalau generasi 46-64 yang tadi kan optimistik dan sebagainya, generasi X ini lebih ya mungkin agak lebih menurun karena lebih damai kan. Ya agak beda dari generasi X. Nah, yang akan kita bahas yang agak saya sedikit mungkin sharing ya, itu adalah generasi milenial dan generasi Z ya. Mungkin termasuk saya ini generasi milenial atau Mbak Saswa ini kan bisa dibilang generasi milenial juga yang bisa dibilang karakternya secara umum itu kan orientasi terhadap ya intinya ingin sukses, ingin melihat generasi baby boomer mungkin sukses, generasi X itu agak-agak sedikit menurun, ada mungkin yang sukses, ada yang enggak. Ya ini generasi milenial itu terpengaruh dengan ya teknologi ya. Jadi ketika generasi milenial dan generasi Z ini yang sekarang ini bisa dibilang mendominasi ya populasinya ya mendominasi itu ya merasa ingin ya ini saya kan generasinya saya sekarang generasi kita yang milenial ini yang kompetitif yang ingin haus dengan perhatian ingin lebih beragam dan sebagainya itu agak-agak beda dengan generasi baby boomer yang itu kan sangat-sangat menjunjung tinggi optimistik jiwa petualang ya ini agak-agak beda dengan generasi milenial. Oke, ya ini saya sebelum masuk ke materi juga ini gambaran ya gambaran yang dirilis yang sempat dirilis generasi milenial ini bisa dibilang yang lahirnya ya 90-an ini 96 sampai 2010 ya. Ya mungkin ini generasi Z ya. Kalau generasi milenial itu kan dari tahun 80 sampai 95. Nah, generasi Z yang setelah generasi milenial ini biasanya itu ingin usaha sendiri atau ingin bikin startup. Contoh ya adanya Gojek, Tokopedia, mungkin kan banyak usaha-usaha baru yang ini perannya generasi Z. Oke, kemudian ada juga ini fakta yang perlu diperhatikan juga di Indonesia, terutama kalau di Indonesia ini pengguna internet pada sekitar tahun 2021 2021 pengguna internet itu sudah lebih dari 50% ya dari seluruh penduduk 132 juta. Yang lebih dari ya ini pada tahun 2021 ini populasi 262 juta ya dan ini bisa dibilang namun pengguna internet 132 juta namun pengguna smartphone ya itu bisa ini dari datanya itu 370 juta artinya melebihi jumlah bisa dibilang satu orang itu punya smartphone lebih dari satu bisa dibilang. Nah, ini baik itu dalam bentuk gadget, mungkin juga tablet ataupun mungkin laptop ya, dan sebagainya. Nah ini generasi milenial atau generasi Z atau ya komunikasi bisnis yang diperlukan itu bukan generasi lama yang berbasis mungkin tadi kan yang sedang ramai itu analog siaran analog. Nah ini semuanya mulai berbasis digital. Sekarang semuanya itu kan berkomunikasi melalui media digital ya, baik itu melalui smartphone, ponsel, laptop dan sebagainya. Nah ini menjadi perhatian. Nah ini hasil sensus penduduk yang tadi saya sempat sampaikan ya. Ini tahun 2020 ya, generasi milenial itu seperempatnya. Kalau digabung ya ini generasi milenial itu kan yang lahir tahun 75 sampai 90-an ya, 90-an awal. Nah, ini seperempat. Kemudian kalau digabungkan dengan yang generasi Z yang kelahiran 95 sampai 2010 bisa dibilang generasi yang sangat-sangat terbuka terhadap teknologi ini setengahnya. Ini data di Indonesia, mungkin nanti dari mahasiswa dari Malaysia punya data berbeda. Nah, ini kalau di Indonesia ya setengah penduduk Indonesia itu didominasi oleh generasi yang generasi milenial dan Z yang sangat-sangat ketika lahir itu sudah teknologi itu sudah beda dengan ketika baby boomer dulu ketika lahir itu baru selesai perang dan ingin mencapai kestabilan yaitu baby boomer Yaitu tadi kan generasi baby boomer yang kelahiran tahun 46 sampai 64, generasi X tahun 65 sampai 76, yang ya karakternya berbeda dengan generasi milenial, ya generasi ya bisa dibilang generasinya saya ataupun ya mahasiswa. Sebagian besar mahasiswa mungkin generasi Z yang karakternya secara umum kan menghargai keberagaman, ingin terlibat di sosial, kemudian suka berbagi, orientasi pada target. Jadi pokoknya target atau kerja yang ini Pak Jokowi itu kan Presiden Indonesia dari 2014 sampai nanti 2024 ya, itu kan motonya ya kerja. Nah ini kan sangat cocok dengan ya generasi Z seperti itu. Atau ya beberapa pemerintahan ya atau organisasi yang sangat terbuka dengan ini generasi ini cocok dengan generasi milenial atau generasi Z ya. Ya ini agak-agak beda generasinya dengan generasi baby boomer dan generasi X. Lalu tadi kan generasi baby boomer itu kan petualang, optimistik, ya ini ingin ya orientasi kerja, ya bukan berarti anti pemerintah, namun ya itu tadi kondisinya. Namun kalau di generasi X itu lebih luas, lebih individualis ya. Oke, nah ini kondisinya dari data yang dirilis oleh ya ini ada yang dari Tirto, ada yang dari BPS ya. Badan Pusat Statistik Indonesia yang tahun 2020 ini bisa dibilang setengah penduduk Indonesia didominasi oleh yang generasi milenial dan generasi Z yang ketika lahir sudah ya pengaruh teknologi itu sangat pesat. Ya. Nah, tantangan bagi generasi milenial dan generasi Z itu tadi kan kalau pada jumlah mahasiswa ini kan karena bisa dibilang kan banyak mahasiswa yang ikut per Desember 2021 jumlah mahasiswa di Indonesia itu 8,5 juta orang mahasiswa yang ya generasi Z-nya ada 16,5%, generasi Y-nya yang tadi milenial itu 42%. Ini ya bisa dibilang kan mendominasi seluruh mahasiswa seperti itu. Kalau pada generasi Z atau generasi yang nanti ya setelah tahun 2010 kemarin kelahiran ya berarti 2022 ini sedang SD, nantinya ke depannya tahun itu lebih high tech ya, ini menjunjung tinggi ingin kebebasan ya, ini merasa ingin berbuat ya pola pikirnya kan bebas ya ini, padahal kan bebas itu kan harus bebas yang bertanggung jawab, bukan hanya bebas yang yang sebebas-bebasnya, bukan seperti itu, namun ya bebas yang harusnya bebas yang bertanggung jawab. Lalu ya individualis. Kalau generasi baby boomer dan X biasanya sekarang itu banyak yang sudah aktif di pemerintahan, dan sudah jadi pimpinan-pimpinan pejabat. Ya ini kalau pada generasi Y yang milenial itu ya mungkin generasinya saya ya milenial itu yang semangat tinggi ya, optimis ya tadi kan, open minded, cepat belajar. Mungkin juga generasinya Mbak Saswa yang dari Malaysia ini kan termasuk milenial, mudah bergaul. Nah ini suka bersosialisasi, aktif di ya mungkin lembaga-lembaga, suka bekerja dalam tim, mungkin kan suka kerja sama tim. Kalau dulu yang generasi X itu kan tadi kan lebih ke individualis. Tadi kan kalau dari karakter yang ada tadi kan lebih individualis, namun kalau generasi milenial itu lebih ke gimana caranya kerja sama tim, bekerja dalam tim. Kadang juga namun ya tidak fokus, lalu ya tidak ya yang akhirnya ya tertarik pada uang ya, pokoknya gimana caranya mengumpulkan uang dalam waktu sekian, nah, ini terkumpul uang sekian. Oke. Apa yang harus dilakukan ya lintas generasi kan, karena generasi milenial ini ataupun yang generasi Z Y ya, Y dan generasi Z generasi Y dan yang generasi berikutnya ya, itu kan akan berkomunikasi dengan kelompok-kelompok yang usianya mungkin beragam. Nah ini itu salah satu tantangan. Kemudian memahami karakter-karakter tiap generasi. Contoh ini saya memahami, oh Pak Reza seperti ini, kemudian tokoh-tokoh seperti ini karakternya ya. Contoh saya juga pernah berkomunikasi dengan cepopong, kemudian pernah berkomunikasi dengan yang lain dan sebagainya. Ini tantangan bagi generasi milenial. Itu tadi saya juga akan sedikit sharing. Indonesia itu tadi kan mungkin kan banyak terjadi perkembangan ya. Indonesia 4.0, kalau di Jepang itu sudah mulai masuk ke 5.0 kan, Society 5.0. Nah ini kalau Indonesia ini gimana caranya yang sedang dibangun oleh pemerintah Indonesia, Pak Jokowi dan timnya, pemerataan pembangunan di seluruh Indonesia. Ini salah satu tantangan yang perlu dilakukan. Nah, itu bagaimana caranya pemerintah dengan swasta, dengan masyarakat bisa membangun Indonesia. Nah, ini peran pemerintah dengan masyarakat, mahasiswa, dan banyak tim. Ini faktanya ya, Indonesia ini sudah masuk ke era industri 4.0, 4.0. Ya, ini sedang masuk digitalisasi dan otomatisasi ya. Ini sedang digalakkan di mungkin bukan hanya di Indonesia, Malaysia juga mungkin sudah beberapa waktu yang lalu saya pernah ke Malaysia ya. I visit Malaysia before pandemi ya. Before pandemi I visit Malaysia and then in the Kuala Lumpur and city some city ya, digitalisasi sudah jalan ya di Malaysia. Indonesia juga di kota-kotanya sedang dibangun 4.0. Nah, pesatnya perkembangan sistem pembayaran. Nah, ini salah satu media yang sedang kita gunakan ya, Pak Mr. Reza, Mbak Saswa. Ini dengan media Zoom ya, ini kita bisa sharing ya, sharing internasional ya, nggak harus mendatangkan dari Malaysia ataupun saya nggak harus ke Malaysia. Nah, ini bisa sharing informasi, sharing pengalaman. Ya, banyak aktivitas-aktivitas dengan ya 5.0 tadi, digitalisasi, pertumbuhan media online ya. Ini saya komunikasi dengan Pak Reza, Mr. Reza ini nggak harus saya ke kantornya Pak Reza ini dengan media online ini bisa mendapatkan informasi cepat selama jaringannya jalan ya, jaringannya bagus. Oke. Nah ini tadi kan terjadi perkembangan. Nah saat ini kita ada di industri 4.0 ya, contohnya digitalisasi, otomatisasi. Contoh sebenarnya saya bisa memantau nih kondisi di rumah, kondisi di beberapa titik dengan adanya CCTV, dengan adanya ya koneksi internet yang bagus seperti itu. Nah ini perkembangan yang terjadi dari tahun dulu kan 1700-an, 1800-an dan sekarang terjadi sekarang ini industri 4.0 dan mungkin beberapa tahun ke depan menuju 5.0. Nah, teknologi 4.0 ini kan cara komunikasi bisnis ya. Komunikasi bisnis yang dilakukan ada dipengaruhi oleh beberapa faktor ya. Contoh kan IoT tadi kan teknologi ya, internet, hal-hal sangat terpengaruh dengan namanya internet. Ya. Kemudian ada pengaruh media sosial ya, ini sekarang kita apa-apa publish atau post di mungkin media sosial, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook ya. Mungkin media-media lainnya. Kemudian sekarang kita mungkin sulit lepas dengan yang namanya handphone ya, gadget dan aplikasi-aplikasi yang ada di ya, gadget. Nah, ini sangat bisa ada yang bermanfaat, bisa ada yang mungkin ada negatif. Itu menjadi tantangan teknologi. Ya, itu tadi kan salah satu tantangan dari komunikasi bisnis. Sekarang kan untuk milenial, para milenial dan generasi berikutnya ini berhadapan dengan ada yang generasinya Pak Reza, generasinya mungkin pejabat-pejabat sekarang, kemudian generasi ke depan. Itu ya, ini pemuda-pemuda bisa dibilang mahasiswa ataupun ya aktivis ini aktif di sebagai agent of change ya. Agent of change ini berperan dengan adanya perubahan-perubahan ya, teknologi, politik, ekonomi ya. Contoh kalau di Malaysia kan kalau di Indonesia kan pimpinan tertingginya presiden, kalau di Malaysia kan pemerintah eksekutifnya di ini apa Perdana Menteri. Ini sangat ada peranan-peranan agent of change. Nah, generasi milenial itu tadi saya angkat lagi, yaitu tadi kan generasi Y atau kelompok yang lahir 80-an sampai 2000, ya bisa dibilang sampai mendekati 2000, usianya sekarang ini 18 sampai 38. Jadi kita melihat usia. Dari usia ini ya ada karakter-karakter yang berperan sebagai ya memiliki role sebagai agent of change atau generasi now. Generasi agent of change ini biasanya ya pokoknya punya target tahun ini apa atau bulan ini targetnya apa dan sebagainya. Jadi menetapkan target. Kalau zaman dulu baby boomer kan sedang damai-damainya, nah ini gimana caranya beradaptasi dengan pasca perang. Generasi X itu sudah individualis, lalu generasi Y sekarang ini milenial ini ya target, lalu kritis dan analitis. Jadi ya dengan gadget atau dengan media sosial tadi, Internet of Things, berperan dalam hal ya mungkin mengkritisi hal-hal yang kira-kira itu nggak tepat atau kurang tepat, itu dikritik biasanya seperti itu, agent of change. Kemudian membangun hubungan yang kuat dan dengan membangun kepercayaan. Jadi trust ini kepercayaan ya, hubungan ya. Makanya salah satu ciri khas milenial ini biasanya kerja sama tim atau bekerja dalam tim atau teamwork. Kalau yang generasi X tadi, generasi tahun 65 sampai 80-an itu lebih ke individualis, namun yang generasi milenial ini lebih ke teamwork, bekerja dalam tim. Generasi berikutnya nanti generasi ya Z tadi lebih ke ya ingin usaha sendiri, nah, ingin apa membangun startup, membangun ya digitalis usaha-usaha UMKM dan sebagainya. Ya ini kan ide-idenya kreatif dan sebagainya. Makanya ini kan sekarang itu salah satu tanda di agent of change. Ya banyak usaha-usaha baru, ide-ide kreatif yang dulunya nggak kepikiran, sekarang ada yang before no sekarang yes. Itu. Oke, nah ini milenial sebagai agent of change ya. Mungkin ya biar nanti bergantian dengan Mbak Saswa, saya akan ya 5 menitan lagi. Oke, nah ini kan nah ini tadi kan saya sudah sampaikan generasi milenial ini inovatif, digital minded, ini berjiwa wirausaha, dan tadi kan kolaboratif, teamwork ya yang digerak ciri khasnya. Oke, pekerjaan-pekerjaan yang cocok untuk para milenial. Oke, beda dengan generasi X sebelumnya. Nah, ini generasi milenial ya desainer ataupun yang gamer dan sebagainya. Nah, ini travel agent, blogger, ya, social media management dan sebagainya. Oke, mungkin itu ya Pak Reza.
Baik, thank you. Very interesting. Bagus. Saya kena jadi generasi milenial macam mana? Nak balik ke tahun 60 ke? Caching,
Yes, you can.
Caching bolehlah generasi baby boomer, tapi kena dalaman yang sikit lah. Okay, therefore time is your right.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, and to Professor and also Hamzah just now. I believe that some of the points that I have is very much related to what Hamzah has mentioned. Okay, so I really hope that all the students here, you can actually take the points, okay, that what Hamzah has mentioned regarding Generation Z and also millennials. Okay, so before I start, let me share my slideshow first. Okay, can you see my slideshow?
Very clear, very clear.
All right, okay. Okay, everyone. So basically, So I'm going to touch about this issue. Try to make it as soon as possible as well. Stay within 30 minutes duration. Huh?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the effective business communication and the challenges that millennial face and also Generation Z. Actually, I put over there as millennial first for the topic, but then again, I would include Generation Z as well because I know that some of the students are also from Generation Z, and I know that they are also millennials as well, very young millennials, okay? Like 18 years old. So I know that the students are actually around that age as well, okay? So just like Hamzah just now, I guess both of us are still in millennials, okay? So we are still millennials, even though we are, maybe you might be like almost, what do you call that, like older millennials, I guess, almost there. But then again, majority of the students here are actually from millennials, okay? And then some of you might be Generation Z as well, no? Okay, I'm going to share with you a video first. Okay, can you hear this sound? Can you hear the sound?
Yeah.
You can hear the sounds, huh? Sorry for that. So let me repeat.
The sound is not yet right now.
Okay. Can you hear it?
Not yet.
Sorry, can you hear it just now?
Picture is okay, but the sound is not yet. I don't know another. Belum lagi. Not yet.
Not yet. No. Hold on. Let me share the audio, I guess, in a way, because I'm not very used to what do you call this. Okay, so let me try.
Okay. Dia macam pakai baju pas ni, baju hijau.
Can you hear it now? Can you hear it now?
Not yet, but before is there are, but no, I not.
The rest, the students can hear it. Can hear the sound.
Kang Indah, ada dengar suara ini tak? Saya tak dengar. Atau Pak Hamzah ada dengar tak? Saya tak dengar, tapi gambar saya lihat.
Saya enggak dengar.
Tak
Okay.
dengar ya, okay.
Kalau
So I'm
gambar
not
saya
sure.
lihat, dia guna baju pas, maksudnya baju hijau.
Tak ada.
Enggak dengar tak? Yeah.
Yes, enggak dengar ya. I don't know.
No problem. Malaysia kena pemilu atau PRU, jadi kita kena sensitif dengan warna.
Okay, can you hear it now? No.
Not yet too.
Okay then. Okay then. All right. So I think I will just skip the video. It's actually to show, the video is actually to show the difference, okay, of Generation Z and also millennials when they work in a company. Okay, there's actually this perception that millennials, when they work, they don't know how to communicate with other people, okay, from other generation, especially like Generation X, okay, Generation X, or even baby boomers as well in the company. So there is that perception. So however, based on this research that I have read, okay, in 2020, by I think September 2020, it has mentioned, based on the conclusion, it is inconclusive. Okay, it is inconclusive to state that millennials have difficulties in communicating with people in a company. Okay, so it is inconclusive. So what I'm trying to say is that there might be these perceptions that millennials quite hard, okay, to communicate with other people in the company regardless of their age. But I'm trying to say is that it is actually inconclusive. So as millennials, so do not take it to yourself, because there are always ways on how to improve the communication part. Because when it comes to communication, it can be improved. There are strategies for it. Regardless of your age, okay, we have to find a way to communicate with people, even though we have different generation gap. Okay, So the definitions would be millennial, as you can see here, in 2020. This one is general, okay, general, not specifically like in Malaysia. So millennials actually represent like 35% of the workforce that we have from 2020, and I'm sure that the number will turn up more, will increase more, and then it will be followed by Generation Z. Okay, so right now the major workforce would be us as millennials, okay, people who were born in, you can see over here, who were born in 1981, okay, 1981 until 20, okay, there you go, okay. Millennials, so be up until 2010, okay, so that would be millennials, right. Okay, so when it comes to millennials and Generation Z, there's a difference, but the difference would be very, what do you call that? Very small. The gap is very small. Both of us, millennials and also Generation Z, we grew up with technology. So we grew up with internet, okay, social media. And then maybe some of us, okay, are being stereotyped as, tech addicted. And then because we are so, I know that majority of the students are, okay, the type of people who loves to play games as well. So you might not see that you're addicted to the technology, but actually you are born in that situations where you don't see it, but actually you are. So sometimes when you are too engrossed with the technology, you can also become antisocial, right? And some of you, because you are very good in expressing yourself online in any type of social media, so they even stereotype millennials and also Generation Z as a social justice warrior online, okay, online. So there is also another, I would call it a negative connotations, where people would call millennials and Generation Z as lazy, narcissistic, okay, people who only think about themselves, and also social media obsessed. So they are actually truth in it in a way, but we have to make sure that it does not consume us as a person, okay? Right, now, basically, because we grow up with technological environment, okay? When we grow up with it, so of course it would dramatically change our behavior, our attitudes, and of course our lifestyle as well. So when we come to work, nowadays, like the students come to class, you would just use your handphones to take notes, use your tablet, handheld tablets. So that is the vast difference that we have with the previous generation, where you use, pen and pencil to take notes. Not that anything wrong, it's just that we are accustomed to different type of technology. We are so accustomed to the technological environment that we have at the moment. Okay, so that is basically millennials and Generation Z. We are accustomed to technological environment. Okay, so basically I want to talk about this as well, but I'm sure that Hamzah has mentioned about it previously as well, about the generation, the communication gap between the generations in the workplace. Okay, so we have Generation X, before Generation X, we have baby boomers, and then we have Generation X, we have millennials, and of course we have Generation Z. So for Generation Z, they are accustomed of using email. So I'm talking about when you are in a workplace, okay? So they are accustomed of using email, so they become more comfortable with written form, okay, with written words when they communicate at work. So they are used to it. So basically Generation X are very much comfortable using email. So for millennials, okay, we are considered as digitally native, okay, generation. It means that we have just started, millennials have just started. Oh no, what is this? Okay, so we have just started with the being exposed to the digital environment. So we call ourselves digitally native generation. So they feel that talking on the phone is ineffective. Okay, it's ineffective. And they would prefer written communication as well. Okay, preferably using any applications, on the phone, like WhatsApp, okay, Telegram, and so on. So that is from millennials. So they don't like to use phone. But for Generation X, some of the time, apart from writing email, they would contact directly the person using phone. They feel that it is much more direct to talk to people. Okay, right. So for Generation Z, basically it's quite similar to millennials because you are grown up with access of very fast internet from very young age. So they may also prefer the type of communications where you get fast response. Okay, so for example, you would just text. Okay, when you want fast response, you text people directly from WhatsApp. So if you are that type of person, means that maybe you have the characteristic, even though that you might not be, the age might not be in millennials or Generation Z, but if you prefer that way, I guess the characteristic comes from millennials and also Generation Z. You want fast response, huh? Right? Okay, so now how to bridge the generation communication gap? Okay, there are actually ways on how to bridge. Okay, because we have communication gap between Generation X, between millennials, right? So what we have to do is that we have to start with communication. Okay, we have to explain the usage of emojis. I don't think that we use emoticon these days. Okay, back then, yes, we do use emoticon, but these days, everyone use emojis. So I'm sure you know what's the difference between emojis and emoticons, right? Everyone, yes? Yes, people, yes, no? Yes? Yes, huh? So I assume that you know what is, yes, okay. So we know what is the difference between emojis and emoticons. So the generation gap would be, we have to explain that we use pictures, okay? We use pictures to display our emotion, okay? To display our emotion and to build that relationship with the person that we are texting. So that is the Generation Y or millennials, and also Generation Z as well. They are accustomed to it. But we have to explain that to the other generation, like Generation X. Okay, so we have to start with communication. Communicate means you have to explain what are the new features, okay, in order for us to facilitate any type of communication. Okay, so the second one, we have to address the fear. Now, sometimes you fear that when you talk to certain people from different generation, you fear that they have negative impressions. Okay, they would think that you are lazy because you are just using emoji to respond to your text, for example. Okay, so we have to change that kind of mindset. And how to do that? We have to address the fear. How to address the fear? You have to communicate with the other generations, okay, like Generation X, for example, or baby boomers. For example, your grandfather don't understand, okay, or your father do not understand from Generation X, for example. Your father does not understand why you have to use emojis to reply to his message, for example. So you have to make sure that you can talk to your father, or in this case, when you work in a workplace, you have to talk to your superior about it, right? If they are from different generations, of course. But if you are from the same generation, so I'm sure that they are accustomed to it, right? But still, again, you have to be professional about it. So this is the one thing that I always emphasize when we teach business communications. Whatever type of communications that we have to appear professional. We need to be professional about it, okay? And then the third one would be IRL communication. So IRL is actually in real life communications. So face-to-face communication is actually needed. Okay, it's needed in order for us to make other people understand. Okay, so in order for us to make other people understand about the usage of emojis, for example, or we do not want other people to misunderstand that we are rude, okay, based on what we have written in the text, okay, to our superior, okay, what we have to do is that you need to have a face-to-face communication as well, okay, in order to eliminate problems. So you cannot run away from face-to-face communication, even though millennials do not prefer to do that. They prefer to do everything online. Okay, but then again, because of IR 4.0, as mentioned by Hamzah just now, we have the technology. For example, we are meeting each other through Zoom. But it works both ways. You have to switch on your camera as well so that we can decipher your body gestures, half like at least partial body gesture, the way, the intonation of your voice and your facial expressions. Are you being sarcastic, or are you, do you actually understand? Okay, so that's why it's important that when we are using the technology, you have to make sure that we can still see each other, not just hear each other. Okay, it works both ways. Yeah? Right. Okay, so next would be millennials workplace communication. So we have to understand the millennials type of communications when they are in a workplace. Okay, for example, millennials are known to be, they fear phone calls, okay? They prefer messaging service like email or text, okay? If you ask me, because I'm millennial as well, and I'm sure that you are, okay? Some of you might be Generation Z, yeah? Right? It is actually not, but what I said, all the texts are actually based on research that has been done. It stated that most millennials fear phone calls. They don't like to use a phone to call directly to the person. Okay, but actually I think it depends on the characteristic of a person. I am millennial, but for your information, I prefer to speak directly to people using phone instead of like text messaging. Okay. Right. It depends on characteristic of a person as well. But majority based on research, they believe that millennials prefer texting, okay, or writing emails. Right. So now, when they see phone calls, they believe that it's very intrusive. They feel that it is less effective when you use phone call, because when you use phone call, you don't see, so it's more like visual. So you have to see something in order for you to understand better. Okay, but then again, even though it is based on research, it actually depends on individual itself. Okay, it depends on individual itself. Some people might say that if I call you, it will be very intrusive, but some people might say that it is actually, when you accept the call, it will be very honest. Okay, you would not have any underlying meanings after that. Okay, right. So in other words, as I mentioned just now, millennials are very visual. Okay, they are very visual, so they believe that everything should be portrayed, okay, right to their faces. So that's why they love to use emojis. Okay, so I'm sure my students love emojis, and I started using emojis as well. Even though I'm from millennials, but my character is that I don't really like use social media that much, but these days, you know, I try to accommodate, okay, especially to the students who love to use emojis. So we use emojis as well to express our so-called feelings. Right. So I think I'm going to talk about this like briefly about field communication of Generation X and also millennials. So the issues would be, we have 3 issues here and 1 solution. The 3 issues would be conflicts over channels of communications. Okay, means that for Generation X, for example, they prefer something that is done in email. Okay, but for millennials, they prefer written as well, but it has to be very fast. So it's through any application, WhatsApp or any social media and so on. So that's why we have conflicts in terms of channel of communication. Okay, so and the second one would be what a work day looks like. So Generation X, they adhere to strict 9 to 5 work hours. Okay, and for millennials, they prefer to have flexible working hours. As long as the work is done, we prefer flexible working hours. So in that sense, I am very much in support to flexible working hours. Okay, right, because we don't want to get stressed out. I don't want to stress the students. I don't want to get stressed out as well. So as long as you produce the end product, in a very good manner, so that you can have like more creative way of thinking. So we would give you the flexible working hours to it. Okay, right. So the solution is that, how to measure career progression? So Generation X, they will prefer, fancy office with great view, and you are driven by authority, okay, and job stability, job security. But for millennials, they will prefer to find the purpose of their work. Why do they work in a company? And then they would enjoy open communication or teamwork, as mentioned by Hamzah just now, with everyone. Okay, and based on the problems, the solution would be you have to communicate. So communication it has to be effective. Okay, it has to be done more regardless of your generation. Okay, cross-generation communication must be effective. Okay, right. So effective communication, basically when we want to understand a person or the situations in order to resolve our differences. So, okay, we might have different opinion than other people, like our boss or our superiors. So that's why we need to make sure that we understand what does it mean by effective communication. You have to resolve issues. Okay, so why do we need effective communication? Because you want to, what do you call that? You want to communicate. Okay, you want to be seen as a person with ability and intelligence. Okay, so that's why we need effective communications. You want the ability to able to influence other people. Okay, to understand your point of view. Your point of view might be wrong, but you are open for discussion. So as long as you are open for discussion, we can have an effective communication regardless of your generation. Okay, right. So for effective communications, we have 4 points or 4 aspects: listening, the nonverbal cues, okay, such as maybe we take a look at your nonverbal would be your hand gestures. Are you nervous? Okay. And then your eyes, are they looking at you, or are they like blinking too much because of you are so nervous? So those are examples for nonverbal cues. Okay. And then stress management. Okay, whether you can manage your stress well, because if you not manage it well, you cannot have an effective communication. Okay, right. And then the last one would be emotional awareness. So emotional awareness is basically when you are aware of your own feeling. Okay, when you are angry, so you avoid having communication with people because you know that it's going to affect the output or the outcome of the discussion. Okay, so you have to be emotionally aware of your own emotions. Right. So I think I'm going to skip this one, active listening, because when it comes to listening, you need to make sure that you practice active listening. Okay, it's more than just hearing. You have to concentrate on what he or she say so that you can respond back. Okay, so this is the one thing that I think is lacking in a way, because sometimes when we teach online, people tend to just hear instead of listen. So that's why we have like the what you call that, the record button, so that they say, I'm going to listen to the recording later on. But you are actually doing double work. Okay, you are doing double work. You come to the class, for example, and then you don't listen, you just hear. Okay, you do not absorb the information. And then you have to take a look at the recording again just to get the point. So you are doing double work. Okay, so try to avoid that and practice active listening. So you are just doing one thing at one time, and that's it. Okay, right. So non-verbal cues, as I mentioned just now, it can be your facial expressions, eye contact, okay, but posture, the way how you sit. Okay, it can actually show whether you are comfortable during the communication with your colleagues, okay, or you're actually nervous, you are not sure about what you are talking about. So those are the examples that we have for non-verbal communication. So managing stress, you have to make sure that you recognize what is it that stresses you out. Okay, and you have to make sure that you know how to relieve your own stress. If you can relieve your own stress by listening, okay, listening to certain therapeutic songs, okay, you can do that. If you believe that you can relieve your stress by listening to BTS just now, you can do that. So only you know how to relieve your own stress level, and it is needed, especially when you are in a workplace, because when you're stressed out, you cannot have an effective communication with your superior, regardless whether your superiors is the same generation or from different generation. Okay, so emotional awareness would be, you have to know whether you're happy, whether you're calm, you're satisfied, whether you're sad, whether you're angry. You have to be well aware of your own emotion before you start to engage in any communication. Right? Right. So let's see, I think I've taken more than 30 minutes for that.
Yeah. No problem.
Actually, I have like another video, but because you cannot watch the video, so it's okay. I guess I can share the link later on so that you can watch the video at your own time. Okay, so I guess that would be it, everyone. So thank you so much for listening to the sharing session. So thank you.
It's very interesting, good presentation from Shazwa. Okay, right now we go
Yes.
to question answer. Some question come in my email right now. I will to read the question in my email to Mr. Hamzah too, and then to Ms. Azwa. I will to choose two questions to every speaker only before limited time for me until 30 minute past 3 or past 4 in Malaysia. Pak Hamzah, ini ada pertanyaan dari Bella, mau saya bacakan, tolong boleh didengarkan. You can to shut down first, Miss Azwa, your screen right now.
Okay, stop sharing. Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Then.
Thank you. Okay, no problem. Ini pertanyaan untuk Pak Hamzah. Saya sangat setuju generasi millennials sangat influence dan energik. Namun mereka juga seringkali andilau. Apa ini andilau? Agak diam dan galau. Dan sering dilanda pesimistik dengan keadaan situasi pasca COVID. Bagaimana agar mereka memandang ke depan dengan optimistik di tengah disruption teknologi kini yang begitu deras? Itu pertanyaan nomor 1 ya. Nomor 2, saya pilihkan dalam komunikasi bisnis, generasi milenial seringkali kurang piawai dan dalam formal communication. Lebih friendly saja stylenya. Apakah dalam kenyataan di bisnis formal, style milenial ini apa tidak menjadi kendala dalam profesi mereka ke depan? Itu pertanyaan nomor 2. Okay, right now the question to Miss Azwa. Oh ya, Miss Azwa tadi kalau Cik Hamzah kata UMKM itu maksudnya itu SME ya. Di sini dikata usaha menengah kecil mikro, jadi SME. Okay, ini question from Yanto. Very interesting sharing by Miss Sazwa. Thank you for your sharing. Right now, many millennials not comfortable stay at home. They are usually with their friend or community outside. Is there good condition for collaboration and productivity? Mean they more discussion to develop of something business project. Oh, what your perspective? Okay, number 2, second, regard attitude and behavior where you share. I look millennial get more information until overdoses, quote unquote. Therefore, difficult for them to create decision making what the best one to choose. To develop the best way for us, what your advice to get best and develop the one decision for to the future. Itu kira-kiranya pertanyaannya dari Yanto untuk for Cik Sazwa. But the first Mr. Hamzah will be to answer around 5 to 6 minutes. Silakan Pak.
Okay, Mr. Reza, I will answer about the question terkait apa namanya milenial yang Andi Lau tadi ya, Young and Lau. Nah, dan ya memang karakter yang berbeda tadi kan antara baby boomer yang sangat optimistik dengan keadaan, yang sangat usaha ekstra dan sebagainya, dengan generasi X yang tadi kalau dari teorinya kan lebih individualis, yang agak lebih menurunkan usahanya. Lalu generasi milenial dan yang sangat terpapar dengan teknologi, dan namun sangat ketika pandemi kadang banyak yang mudah demotivasi. Kalau saran saya atau opsi atau masukan dari saya ya, yang perlu dilakukan oleh what should millennial do? Nah, mencari sering bergaul atau bersosialisasi dengan generasi yang lebih dulu, baik itu baby boomer dan generasi X yang sukses ya tentu aja ya. Namun ya dengan bersosialisasi dengan
dengan generasi
berkumpul.
baby boomer dan generasi baby bands ya.
Ya, ya, dengan bersosialisasi, dengan bergaul atau ya mungkin ngopi-ngopi, nongkrong ya, saling bertukar pikiran. Jadi generasi milenial tersebut bisa mendapatkan, oh ternyata dulu gini, oh ternyata dulu seperti itu. Nah, kalau milenial baiknya memang banyak belajar dengan atau mungkin terkenalnya nyari mentor ya. Nyari mentor atau yang kira-kira panutan teladan ya, suri teladan yang kira-kira bisa dijadikan ini. Oh saya mau belajar ke ini, oh saya mau belajar ke itu. Contoh tiap milenial kan karakternya beragam ya, different karakter ya. Ada yang keras, ada yang mungkin agak-agak lembek, atau yang mungkin galau-galau tadi ya. Itu yang perlu dilakukan, nyari panutan atau mentor. Ada yang melihat ke Pak Jokowi, ada yang melihat cocoknya ke Pak Prabowo, ada yang cocoknya mungkin ke ini Pak JK, Yusuf Kala, dan ya cari mentor yang kira-kira bisa dijadikan panutan.
Ke Pak Anies nggak disebut tadi dengan Pak
Oh
lain.
ya, boleh ya, intinya tiap orang punya panutan ya. Kira-kira ingin mencontoh siapa ya? Milenial ini kan karakternya beragam, different karakter. Nah, yang beragam tadi, cari teladan atau cari mentor, atau ya sering ikut nongkrong-nongkrong, atau ya mungkin ngopi-ngopi ya, dan sama siapa ya, intinya itu pertama itu perlu dilakukan agar melatih open minded, berpikir terbuka terhadap semua isu. Jadi dengan sering berkomunikasi dengan berbagai, namun ya kalau bisa jangan hanya 1-2 tokoh yang dilihat, tapi banyak nih. Ya sering pindah-pindah lah. Terutama milenial sekarang itu kan suka pindah ini kan, perusahaan organisasi ya, kutu loncat ya istilahnya. Nah, itu seperti itu bisa dilakukan oleh milenial. Jadi nyari mentor, nyari sering nongkrong, sering ya diskusi dan sebagainya. Ya, ini kan sharing session yang digawangi oleh Pak Reza, itu salah satu menarik kan, mendapatkan topik-topik yang menarik, itu kan dengan topik-topik yang berbeda, tokoh berbeda. Nah, ini salah satu solusi sebenarnya.
Ya, nomor 2.
Ya, kalau nomor 2 tadi terkait?
Biasanya generasi sekarang kan komunikasinya sangat friendly, non formal. Itu masalah nggak dalam bisnis ke depan?
Nah, itu kembali lagi ke tadi kan, generasi milenial kan yang penting target tercapai. Jadi kalau dari saya ya kembali lagi ke orangnya. Ada kala lebih cocok dengan cara A atau cara B, ini enggak masalah kalau dari saya, selama generasi milenial kan based on target. Selama targetnya tercapai, selama nyaman ya mungkin cocok. Ada yang melalui Zoom cocok, ada yang cocoknya tuh ketemu langsung, ada yang ya berbagai beda-beda ya kalau saya lihat.
Ya,
Namun
kalau
perlu
Cik Sazwa bilang yang penting jangan lewat meme aja.
ya, melalui meme itu juga kadang kan multi tafsir. Ada yang suka meme, ada yang nggak suka. Ya, berbeda-beda ya.
Iya,
Itu
iya,
tergantung
iya.
karakternya.
Baik, baik. Thank you
Ya.
very much.
Ya.
Smart answer. Jadi Cik Sazwa tadi kalau Encik Hamzah kata kutu loncat, itu di Malaysia lompat pagar di parlimen. Jadi,
So yes, there are certain terms that macam I try to understand as well, like kutu loncat je. Okay.
jadi kutu
Okay,
loncat
okay.
tu mean lompat pagar lah macam di parlimen Malaysia. Oh.
Okay. It
Pindah
was quite
cepat juga.
sensitive from Reza because we are going to have our election soon, Prof. Reza.
Okay, right now you are with answer with the question.
All right. So I think I will thank you so much for the two questions from, is it Miss Yanto or
Yanto
Mr.
Mel.
Amir? Okay, so thank you so much for the two questions, Mr. Yanto. Okay, the first one would be, is it good, right, to be, they don't like to be in a controlled environment. So actually, when it comes to millennials, one of the characteristics is that, as mentioned, we care about the output. Okay, we care about the output. So as long as you can be in any type of environment, you can be outside, you can be in any comfortable environment. Okay, as long as you can think creatively and you can give a very good output or product, then it should be okay. All right. It's just that the communication part, especially when you have to talk to people from different generations, you have to make sure that you are sensitive enough. Okay. You are using formal, what do you call that? Not so much of formal, but you have to somehow, be respectful. Okay. Be respectful. Do salutations regardless of their generations. Okay. And I think I answered the questions. You can be in any type of environment. If you believe that you can work better in a coffee shop, okay, so you be in a coffee shop. Okay, sometimes if you want to be in at the library doing your assignment, then you can be at the library doing your assignment. Okay, it does not have to be confined place. Okay, right. So that answers the first question. And the second question mentioned about Mondana. As Pak Reza talk very fast about the questions, so I have to jot down.
Regard attitude and behaviors, what your advice to choose the best way for them, because many information
yes, okay.
Please.
Right. So yes, it is true. Millennials and also Generation Z, we can get everything at based on our fingertips. So yes, we are in a way overdosed with information. Okay, we are overdosed with information. However, so when we have too much information, you ended up not knowing what to focus on. Okay, and then when you have so many information, you ended up not being original. You're not sure whether that is actually your own opinion or somebody else's opinion that you agreed on. Okay, so you are not sure. So in other words, we have to make sure for millennials and also Generation Z later on, because I myself am a millennial lecturer at the moment, right? So what we have to do is that we have to create activities, assignments that would include the analytical part. So you have to think. It's not just I want information that you can easily find on the internet. No, So we have to create assignments or, you know, questions that would make sure that you can think and you can decipher, you can analyze with all the information, the overdose information that you have mentioned just now. Okay, so you have to be analytical at the same time. It's not just whatever it is that you put on the internet, you find it, that's true. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so I guess
very
that's it.
smart answer from the millennial lecturer. Okay. Before the closing remark from all the speaker, we look the last video with the Millennial Indonesia Pro